let's dive right in, because one of the biggest mistakes beginners make is thinking that tarot power comes from the deck itself. But the actual real power comes from your intuition, your awareness, and your connection to the energy. The deck is just simply the translator. That's important to understand because people overcomplicate this part bad. You do not need a haunted antique deck, a $200 crystal altar, some rare magical ritual, or to be chosen spiritually. You just need connection, intention, and practice. Your first deck should feel easy to visually understand. This is where beginners kind of mess up. I know I did. So listen to me when I tell you. People buy the most super advanced artistic decks that look beautiful, but hard to interpret. Mine was just symbols only. So in the beginning, clarity is definitely going to matter for more than the aesthetics, okay? Now, everyone's going to ask the best beginner decks. I'll probably leave a PDF of a list. However, when you're just getting started, the Rider-Waite style decks are in. And I do have the classic Rider-Waite deck. That was actually my second deck because the first one was confusing. I also included a similar deck that's a little bit more modern. Most tarot teachers use these because the symbolism is clear, the meanings are easier to understand, and almost all future decks are inspired by this system anyway. So this is basically the foundation of modern tarot. Now, what do you look for when choosing a deck? That's the common question that I always get when someone's first starting out. So I always say, choose a deck that feels emotionally interesting. Something that visually speaks to you, that makes you curious, that feels really easy to understand. If you look at the cards and instantly feel confused, that may not be your beginner deck. Hence why I went with another deck when I first got mine. This was my first deck. It's just symbols. I still have it. For the simple reason that Rider-Waite was a little bit confusing to me in the beginning. So do not buy 15 decks immediately. That becomes a distraction type of an energy. Just master one deck first. Learn its personality, learn its symbols, and learn how you interpret it. Now, where do you get these decks? Well, I say just walk into a metaphysical shop, because one of the best places to get your first deck is that kind of a shop. You don't want to go to a random clothing store and on the side they have a case of jewelry and cards. When you go into a metaphysical shop, you can physically touch the decks, you can feel the energy, and you can look through all of the artwork. They typically will have sample decks as well. Now, if you don't know what a metaphysical shop is, these are the more so spiritual stores that usually sell tarot decks, oracle cards, crystals, incense, candles, books, spiritual tools. And honestly, they're great places to explore energy for the first time. So when you go into the shop, what you want to ask for, and you feel overwhelmed, here are some good questions to ask. What's the best beginner tarot deck? You can even ask which decks are Rider-Waite based, hence why I have this other deck here. You can also ask which deck has the clearest imagery. What deck do beginners usually connect to most? Can I look through the cards first? Do you have any guidebooks that are included? Now, as far as online options, after you gain a little bit of experience, it's going to be so much easier to shop for decks. You're going to have a knack for specific look and feel. So you can also get decks online at Amazon. I recommend starting in Etsy. We have a lot of people creating decks, tarot creators, websites, possibly, but more so spiritual stores online as well. But I highly recommend looking at sample images first before you just purchase anything. Let me actually go through the red flags. I wasn't going to add this in, but when you're buying decks online, and I have so many decks I'm surrounded by right now, I started creating them. So the red flags would be to watch out for blurry counterfeit decks, tiny decks, decks missing guidebooks. There's a thing where people do fake reproductions. I can actually show you what that looks like. And believe it or not, these decks are not the originals that I just showed you. You can still use them, sure, but they just have a different feel. Now, how do you connect with your deck? Let's kind of talk about the real important part, which is building connection, you guys. Remember, your deck is an extension tool. Your tarot deck works best when you feel relaxed. The deck is going to reflect your interpretation system. So connection is less about magic. It's more about how familiar you are with your deck. So I'm going to give you some methods on how to really connect with them. Okay. Now, I recommend spending some time looking at the cards. I know this sounds basic, but it works. Sit with the cards, study the imagery, look at the guidebook, notice all the colors, the facial expressions, the scenery, the symbolism, the emotions, and then really ask yourself, what does this feel like? Now, another method some people love to do, they like to tie a rubber band around their deck. Another method that people like to do is they sleep with their deck or near their deck. Some readers sleep with the deck nearby for a few nights, not because the cards become magical overnight, but because psychologically you begin bonding with them. Personally, I've never done it. I just thought I'd throw it in. Now, another one I like to do is shuffle the deck. I used to do this all the time with new decks. I still kind of do. I do bring the deck. I have a bag with me that I made, and I bring new decks in here, and randomly I just start shuffling them. Now, even if you fully don't know all of the meanings, for some reason, I like to hear the sound and shuffling them. It gets your energy involved. It opens it up a little bit more so that they're not so stiff. And you just keep looking at it all the time. So then you begin to gain familiarity with your cards. Okay. Now, another grand method that I used to do was pull a daily card. This is one of the best exercises for beginners. This is what helped me memorize all of my decks that I have. So every morning I would pull one card, and then I would ask, what energy might this represent today? How could this show up emotionally? And what lesson might appear? So this trains your intuition naturally. Let's discuss cleansing and energy talk, because I really would like to address the spiritual side without making this weird. Do you need to cleanse your deck? Well, here's the answer. Some readers cleanse decks and some don't. There's no tarot police out there in the world, but the main goal is setting an intention. Now, the simple cleansing methods that I use would be to knock on the deck, shuffling intentionally, do a smoke cleansing. You could even place crystals nearby. Moonlight, okay, new moon, full moon. And you can set an intention through meditation or an affirmation. I don't do all of those, but I just thought I'd mention a few more. But the most important thing is the strongest cleanse is going to be your intention. It's going to be your energy, making sure that you come clean and grounded and clear. That matters more than fancy rituals, let me tell you. Now, here are a few beginner mistakes. Mistake 1, thinking the deck is cursed. Oh my goodness. Some social media platforms, I'm not going to say any names, have created so much unnecessary fear around tarot. A tarot deck is paper with symbolism. You are the interpreter. Mistake number 2, constantly switching decks. You need consistency in the beginning while learning your decks. Switching decks every single day is definitely going to slow your progress. Hence why I still have my original deck. You'll always keep it. It's going to be your keepsake when you become advanced in reading tarot. Now, Mistake number 3 is waiting to feel ready. You become ready through practice, not before it. So practice, practice, practice. And that's also how you gain confidence when you're reading for other people. So today you learned how to choose a deck, where to get one, how to connect with it, and how to start strengthening intuition naturally. And hopefully now tarot feels way less intimidating because tarot isn't about perfection. It's about relationship, connection, observation. So in the next lesson, we're going to start breaking down how to actually understand card meanings without memorizing all 78 cards immediately. Stay tuned for that, and I'll see you on the next one.